I was visiting family in South America 13 years ago. I met one of my cousin's kids for the first time. The young woman had just had her third kid and had been left by her boyfriend. He was the father of only the latest kid. She looked so worn down and sad. When I got back home, I spoke with my wife and she agreed that if his family was okay with it, we would adopt her youngest kid. It was an offer, not a demand, and we made sure to explain that we would help her out monetarily with the other two as well. I was adopted similarly, so I've always wanted to pay it forward. My adoptive parents are also related to my biological parents, and they help them with money too. Well, it became a big deal. I was trying to steal a kid just because I had money and blah blah blah. So I said no problem and walked away from the offer. Well, the baby is a young teen now and his mother has had 2 more kids. She's being supported by her mum but not doing great. Her 2 eldest kids are working and going to school, but the teen is a bit of a jerk, I guess, skipping school and hanging out with the wrong people. My family contacted me to see if I could help him by bringing him up here. I passed. There's a big difference between a baby and a young teen troublemaker. Plus, I'm 50 now and don't have the energy to deal with that crap, so I declined. My family down there is upset with me for going back on my offer, so I offered to pay his expenses down there if any of them would take him in. Nobody thought that was a good deal. I feel bad for the kid. I have a fairly good idea of how his life is going to go. I just don't think that I'm the person to fix this problem. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They declined, and now that the kid is problematic, they want you to take their child, as a teen, away from his family? Wow, they're honestly some messed up parents. You didn't go back on your offer, they rejected your offer. That was the end of the offer by their choice. Offering to pay expenses is far more than most people would do in this situation. End of discussion. Not only did the offer expire, but it expired because they were accusing him of trying to steal a child. So they obviously didn't look at it as a generous and kind offer of adoption, but as a threat. And since the kid is a pain, it's now okay for OP to steal him. Talk about insult on top of insult. First the accusation of being a wealthy moron, now accusations of being an idiot and a coward. The mental gymnastics your family plays when convenient are astounding. Stay firm. Against the grain and sure to be unpopular, but you are the idiot. So yeah, even though your cousin seemed tired and sad, it was an idiot move to approach her about giving up her baby to you as a way for you to pay your own adoption forward. Sorry, but being surprised by your cousin's reaction to such a huge, life-altering request like that is a bit naive at best. I think that kind of proposal would offend a lot of people. It doesn't make someone an idiot to refuse to give up their baby to a perfect stranger. Exactly, you are the idiot. Your cousin just gave birth. It's a very vulnerable and difficult time. Her boyfriend left her, which made things definitely worse. Of course she wasn't doing that well. If you were genuinely trying to help her, why didn't you ask, "Hey, is there something I can help you with?" Why didn't you offer to buy some supplies for her or give her money? Your help could cost your cousin her baby. I disagree. OP said they're from South America. I'm from Central America, and adoption from a relative living in North America, Australia, or Europe is common. Especially when the young mother keeps giving birth to different men, the adopted person usually knows the truth and is willing to help the siblings who stay behind, often adopting a niece or nephew later on. The story isn't about a lot of people, it's about OP and their family culture within their greater cultural environment. I'm currently pregnant and have been experiencing some really strange cravings lately. Before meeting my husband, I grew up non-vegetarian, but I switched to vegetarian after we got together. My husband and his entire family are strict vegetarians. Recently, my mother-in-law came to stay with us to help out when the baby is born. 2 days ago, she went out of her way to prepare a special meal for me, and I truly appreciated her effort and the thoughtfulness behind it. I ate everything she made and complimented her cooking. However, throughout the meal, I couldn't help but think about chicken wings. The craving was overwhelming, and after lunch, I ordered some chicken wings for myself and disposed of the waste in the kitchen bin, completely forgetting that my mother-in-law would see it when she used the bin. Later that evening, she found the wrappers and confronted me about it. She was visibly upset and felt hurt, believing that I didn't like her food and that I preferred ordering out. I tried to explain that it was just a pregnancy craving and not a reflection of her cooking, but she was deeply hurt and disappointed. Now my mother-in-law is being distant and is avoiding me, and my husband is being neutral. He did express he was upset I ate chicken as we're vegetarians, but he's not picking a side and tells me that he's staying out of it. I'm on maternity leave, so I'm with my mother-in-law all day. My husband is on call most days, and when he's at home, he's mostly asleep. I'm not sure if I am the idiot or what to do to fix the situation, and I genuinely have nothing against her cooking. I just had a craving, and I didn't think this would still be awkward 2 days on. I thought it would just blow over. Not the idiot, but I would order a burger next. I've been a vegetarian for over 8 years. Still, I started eating meat when I was pregnant because my body was craving it so badly. You gotta listen to your body and not your mother-in-law. You might be deficient in something you're not getting from meat. If you still want to be a vegetarian after the baby, that's your prerogative. But while you're pregnant, all bets are off. It was sweet she made you a tasty meal, but that doesn't mean you still don't want those wings. Also, your husband needs to support you better. Good Lord, your mother-in-law needs to stop making this about her. You ate dinner and were hungry after, so you ordered wings. That's it. Hubby doesn't get to stay out of it. It's his job to handle his family. He's just being lazy. This is a vulnerable time when he should be supporting you. Ultimately, your body is your choice. This is what bodily autonomy is for. You ate her food, and you ate some more food that you were craving. Pregnancy is hard. Do you? I don't think anyone is the idiot here. I think it's a misunderstanding because mother-in-law may not know it was a pregnancy craving and believe it was a cover for you not enjoying her food. Maybe just explain to her about it and all will be okay. Do you actually believe what you wrote here because mother-in-law is an idiot? Just because OP was still hungry does not give her mother-in-law the go-ahead to take offense. How do people still buy into this BS that doing something for yourself that you want, which has no impact on others, is offensive? Also, was mother-in-law not pregnant at one point and aware of cravings? I'm a man and understand that. She needs to get over herself. Your mother-in-law is controlling and her behaviour gives me a strong matriarch vibe. You should stand your ground and give these people the lecture they so deserve. Don't let them walk all over you. Ask yourself, is having your mother-in-law there actually going to help or just annoy you and cause you emotional distress? If she isn't going to help, kick her out, now. I think I might be being dramatic, so I'm here for judgment. My fiancé Josh, 28 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for 5 years, engaged for 3. He has a little brother, James, 24, who's been with his girlfriend Sally for 2 years. We have a great relationship with my fiancé's brother and his girlfriend. We've been there for them during their rough patches and have been overall supportive of their relationship. Even though they live a 10+ hour drive away, we stay in touch weekly and sometimes daily. We visit them at least once a year, and they've never come to visit us, but they live in a fun beach town, so we never complain about a tropical weekend trip. Haha. Sent birthday gifts and Christmas gifts without getting anything in return, but my love language is gift giving, so as long as they were happy with their gifts, I was happy. They're doing great to the point James has a ring and plans to propose soon. A little backstory. A few years back we went to visit them and stayed in this beautiful hotel and wedding venue. We both fell in love, but there was no way we could afford it at the time. Back to the main story. As you can tell, we got engaged pretty young and we didn't feel ready to get married at the time. Honestly, I'm not big on weddings, but my fiancé wants one, so we agreed on a smaller affair to celebrate. Since we decided to wait a few years, about 5 months ago, we decided to take a shot at the venue we dreamed of, and it turns out we can afford it. We can afford it on our own, but our loving families are chipping in, so we're totally within budget and over the moon. 5 years and we're finally getting married. We've been keeping Sally and James in the loop this entire time since it's their hometown, asking for advice on vendors and just overall excited chatting about it. We locked down a date on Monday last week and had to pay the $1,000 deposit by tomorrow. I held off confirming the date was good with my family since my cousin had a wedding scheduled 3 weeks after ours. We planned to pay it today after I got the blessing. Yesterday, my fiancé got a phone call from his dad asking if he'd spoken to James recently. His dad further explains that James, who has not proposed to his girlfriend yet, decided to book the same venue the weekend before our wedding. To say I'm upset is an understatement. We've been talking to them for months about our progress. They had never once shown interest in the location. Frankly, I could care less that it's at the same place. The weekend before is just a slap in the face. I don't think I can bring myself to forgive them, let alone attend. Am I the idiot for not wanting to go to brother-in-law's wedding? Edit. Only brother-in-law and future sister-in-law live in the town the venue is located in. It's a 5+ hour drive for the closest family member. Everyone else is a 10+ hour drive or flight away. There would be no way to attend both. I would love to ask them what they were thinking, but they've now been ducking our calls. Clearly mature enough for marriage. Not the idiot. Who books a venue when they aren't even engaged yet? That's a really crappy thing for them to do. I assume when you said you told them everything, you mean the location, the date, etc. If so, they absolutely, without a doubt, did it to upset both of you and did so on purpose. And they're now avoiding contact. There is proof they knew exactly what they were doing. Otherwise, they'd be on their knees apologizing for not thinking straight and trying to resolve the issue. If I were you, now book the weekend for the weekend before theirs. Two can play that game. The only idiots here are your brother-in-law and his girlfriend. How ridiculous of them to do this. And you mentioned it was a destination wedding, so financially your family could only attend one. Oh boy, they purposely did it. Good luck, and wait until the baby wars start. I, female 23, still live with my parents. I pay them a little bit for rent and help with chores around the house. My brother, 32, is married with 2 daughters. His wife has a habit of dropping them off with my parents so she can go run errands. My parents tolerate this because they love their grandchildren. Last week my parents went away on vacation and I had the house to myself. I went out the back door to the garage while my sister-in-law was dropping her kids off at the front door. We didn't see each other. We did see each other when I was getting groceries and she was parking to do the same. The Publix is about 5 minutes from my house, but she tore out of the parking lot like a speed demon. Then the calls started. My parents, my brother, my sister-in-law. Everyone was calling me irresponsible for leaving the girls alone so I could go run errands. I asked each of them when I agreed to watch the girls. Not one of them could say that I had. My brother apologized to me because he thought I'd agreed. He's angry at his wife over this. She thinks I'm an idiot for not just watching them while my parents are out of town. To be honest, if she had asked, I would have watched them, but I don't feel bad about not doing something I didn't sign up for. Not the idiot. You said it yourself. You did not sign up to do this, nobody asked you to, and therefore it's not your responsibility. It's not even clear from the story that you knew the kids were in the house. Family can be an important extension of childcare and there's nothing wrong with that, but you do have to consent to it. That is exactly what I was thinking. Sister-in-law drops the kids off at the front door without a notice. OP exits the house through the back door. I read it as OP didn't see them. The parents were out. Sister-in-law didn't even check to see if anyone was in the house. Who is to say OP wasn't out of the house as well? Sister-in-law has a dangerous habit, one she needs to stop ASAP. This, like even if sister-in-law saw OP's car there, she couldn't assume that meant OP was home. What if a friend had come and picked OP up to go out somewhere? And she wouldn't have known till she was done taking her sweet time shopping and got back to, hopefully, 2 kids still alive and in good condition. Yeah, LOL. What kind of parent just kicks their kids in need of supervision out of the car anywhere without checking if said supervisor is actually there? That is 100% on your sister-in-law. She's lucky the kids weren't hurt and that no one called the cops. She sounds like she feels entitled to your time. Glad your bro's got your back. I, 40 male, have been married to my wife, 41, for 14 years. We had a barbecue over the weekend, and in preparing for guests to arrive, my wife was getting snippy at me with digs here and there. This is pretty normal, and I try not to let it bother me. Anyway, after 5 minutes of her challenging my intelligence, I told her that she should put her money where her mouth is and challenge me to an IQ test if she really wanted to see how dumb I was. I knew full well that I would beat her, and she knows it as well. She dodged the offer but then told my son, Tween, that when my wife and I first met, she was earning double the amount of money that I was. I asked how she made twice the amount that I was, and she replied that she was renting 4 houses out to students. I then asked her how she could afford to buy those 4 houses. She told me that her mother gave her the money to buy them. I then pointed out that she'd not actually made any money that wasn't based on a gift or had been given to her, and that the only reason she could afford the capital was that it was given to her. She had not had to work or build up some startup capital of her own at all. I've worked all my life, and apart from a little help to buy my first car, I've had no handouts from my parents or family. My wife, on the other hand, has never actually done a day's employed work in her life. She receives a monthly income from a trust, and she couldn't be bothered to manage her rental properties, so she sold them, although she still has one that's been vacant for about 4 years. I've never mentioned this to her before or used it as ammo in 14 years of marriage, but it really made me angry that she was talking to my son about it like she's some super wonder businesswoman. She told me I was an idiot, and I felt like an idiot. So, am I? Good God, do you guys even like each other? Your wife sounds awful and you sound bitter. Everyone's the idiot here. This poor kid is stuck in the middle of their parents' marriage. OP, for the sake of your child, file for divorce. Either she will get over her pettiness and agree to marriage counselling, or she will accept so quickly it will make your head spin. You're still young enough to start over, but let her know you've had enough of her digs. I'm bitter perhaps, I'm just tired in all honesty. I never resented her for what she had or her upbringing. Recently it seems like whatever I do she pounces on and drags me over the coals for it. The problem is she's already said she wants full custody of the kids and can afford any legal team she wants. I love my kids to bits and I couldn't bear to see them once every few weeks. At this time I can't risk it. Before you assume the absolute worst situation, 1. Don't take your opponent's legal advice and speak to an attorney. 2. Do some research. 3. Figure out who you need, presumably a serious custody bulldog attorney. But you need real legal advice, not Google advice. You need an attorney who knows your local custody laws and the local judges to actually tell you what is realistic. Yeah, maybe she'd end up with full custody or perhaps not, and you're putting yourself and your kids through this nightmare because you're scared. Quietly gather information, and if you opt to stay, learn not to drag your kids into your fights. This nastiness towards each other is hurting your child.